Well then, boys and girls, welcome back to Mountain Buses, welcome back to this shitbox. Sorry, 1998 Dennis Dart. Today, we're going to finish off and hopefully hear this puppy roar into life. I have a few bits to find, although I've just found one of the bits I need already. We've got to put the fuel lines on and we've got to put clamps on the water pipes. I've got 20 odd litres of water to put in it temporarily, so we've got some cooling. Though we won't have a cooling fan due to the power steering line still being out, we will have at least water running around the system. You may ask why not put antifreeze in it. Well, we're not too sure whether the water is going to be staying in it at the moment, so it's more of a test to make sure that everything is good, everything is correct, and then the water will be drained out of the system and antifreeze put into the system, where then it will stay put in the system. So without further ado, as we are on a time limit, as this puppy needs moving at some point, we need to make sure that it is mobile so we don't have to pay a towing fee, or at least mobile in some respect that we can move it. We will crack on as quick as possible. So first off, I am going to start off with getting these fuel lines back up and are bolted down, in theory, at least minimum back on. Then we will clamp on the water pipes and the other air pipe that goes off the turbo, goes through to the cooler. From there, we will then turn it over without any fuel. A, help bleed the system, and B, we'll be able to check for any unusual noises that we may have missed whilst hand cranking it over, as the starter will turn it over a lot quicker. And finally, we will engage the fuel solenoid and allow fuel to flow to the injectors, and in theory, there's a lot of theory going on. She should roar into life and run. I am going to be leaving the exhaust off on for this testing so we can see the smoke coming out of the turbo rather than the exhaust pipe. That will give us an idea of what is going on as well. We also won't get any white smoke from vapours that are built up in the exhaust. So it will give us our first good indication of whether we've solved the smoke problem. Black smoke we can deal with. Black smoke will go into the Eminox and be dealt with in there. So black smoke we can deal with. Blue smoke, we will get a bit of that because of the age of the vehicle. White smoke is what we don't want to see. So let me get this jacket off, because it's a nice jacket, and crack on. Now, this once again is the parts where it's difficult for you to actually be able to see. I'm going to go open the bonnet because we get a little bit of extra light. I'm going to put some gloves on. So the aim for today, for it to be a successful day, is this engine runs. Even if it doesn't run brilliantly, having it run. Now, like I say, as usual, it's hard to see what is actually going on in here. I will do my best to explain as we go. Now, the only problem I do have, I have been unable to locate in the time a oil filter for it. So we are going to have to put the old oil filter temporarily back on, which you may say gets rid of the point of doing the oil filter in the first place. Well, the oil. But the oil that came out the bus was pretty clean. So I don't see it as a major problem. So first of all, we need to find out which one it is that does down here, and then we can sort out from here. So we have all pipes here, so we need to work out which pipe does what. That one looks to me to be one of the front ones, I reckon. I think what is actually going to be the easiest option is I take a picture on my phone, because that is lettered and coded, and then we match it up with the Bosch pump information, and then we can say, well, that port is that port is that. That will be the easiest option rather than guessing, and then we can ensure that everything is correct. So flash on, because we will need it. Let's see if I've got a good enough picture. It's not quite good enough. May take a few attempts. So that one's good enough. So as you can see, we've got A, B, C, D. That'll be E and F. So we can break out the laptop, buses website, vehicle manuals. I believe it should still be in the Cummins 6BT shop manual. Fuel system 5.1. Somewhere in here, there it is. high pressure fuel lines installation. So F is the one we need to do first, and that is cylinder 3. So let's line up these. That could be it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so that's cylinder 3. No. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Please. Fuel lines are different. Different threads. No. This can't be happening. Where's my box? These are supposed to be the same. These got bigger threads. Yeah. They appear to have bigger threads. Yeah, they do. Oh, for fuck's sake! Let me get one out so I can look at it properly. But it appears they have different threads on them, which means they're not what was purchased. So just to confirm for the camera. So this is the original, which I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read that, but that is KDEL 59 P9. Yeah, these are the ones we ordered, which are KDEL 59 P9s, but it appears that the threads are different. Now, I'm going to take cylinder 5s out so we can double check that, but that is what it's looking like, and if that is the case, that means this ain't running today. That's just split off anyway. Fuck's sake. Well, we're one down, but I can use an old one. It's not a problem. And technically we have spares of these because we have 4 KDEL 59s. We have 2 that aren't. So the fact that return screws just snapped is here and there really with that. Right, so that's out enough. So next we need, put that on there. So, well, that's good. It's all stayed together. That will probably come out anyway. It's really loose in there. Right, so that's the snapped one out anyway. So this is a total waste. You can clearly see it. Old one, new one. Completely different, even though they've got the same codes. Fuck! Yeah, the top thread is physically larger. So they're the right part number. So what do I do now? Do I put the old ones in to get it moving and then switch by just 2 more KDELs off someone else? So these have been ordered from China as well, and these are correct. So that is £100 odd unless I can get the money back that's gone to waste. So what I'm thinking, 5 and 4 are good cylinders that I can get the injectors back out with. So if I put the 2 dodgy ones, the P7s down there, I can get them back out with no issues. Right guys, we're back to where we was about, an hour ago. With the fuel return lines on, and that's about it. Right, first of all, we do have this first fuel line on, so let's get that tightened up. Get that on nice and tight down here. Right, so, back to phone. So that one is F. This back out, alright. So now we need to do the letter below it, which is E. So E goes to cylinder 5, so this one back here. So that one. There. No, that's cylinder 6. So 6 is that one. It's this one. I suspect because that goes back on itself, that's going to be 4. There should be one other one for the long run up. That one, so that's going to be 5. Just take that one out of the way for a minute. I'm leaving these loose up on the top here for the simple fact of obviously bleeding the system up. Might have to grab my other tool out here. See if I can get the tool on. Let me just now see if I can get this on. That is tight. So if that was E, what are we doing? A next. A goes to cylinder 6, so that's this one that we had out before anyway. 1, 2, 6. Tricky work will be putting in line number 5 because it goes in the middle of all of this. Well, that's on. So D is going to be the next one, yeah, which is cylinder 1. So that's going to be one of these. So we offer them up into their places. So that makes me think that that's not correct, because that goes back that way. That is the pipe for 1, which is D. Right, so that leaves B and C. So B goes to number 2, which is going to be this one, because it's the one with the weird pattern on it. That one into there. This is where it gets tricky, because that actually needs to feed between those 2 lines. You can sort of find the details out. See, because that needs to go underneath that one. That's it. I'm now starting to think I should have put C on first, but right. And then finally, we've only got 1 pipe left, so it can be the only pipe. That, I think, is the middle pipe. So that needs releasing. Number 6. I'll feed that one underneath it. Tie 6 back down. Or is that the bottom one? You know what, guys? That might be the bottom one. Yeah, that is the bottom one. There we go. 6 is always a tricky one. That needs to go. That one. No, because then that makes that now. Yep, there we go. Right, so now I've just got to get this on this side down here, which is tighten that up, which I can't do. I can do it somewhat, but not to the level that is needed. So I'm gonna have to. I don't want this to leak. Shouldn't leak. So we've got fuel to injectors. So I need to put 6 on. 6 is now on. This goes in here. Just the throttle body assemble. And we need to find a 13mm bolt. There is a hole for one though. That cable needs some lube. Right, so we've got all fuel lines on. We need to do the fuel filter now. Now the fuel filter for now is going to be the same as it was when we took it off, which is just sat here. Because, well, at the moment we don't have a better solution for it, quite frankly, but so it needs to go that way round on its side. First of all, let's get the screw through. Again, this is primarily now for testing, making sure the engine does still run, especially because we now have 2 injectors that don't match again. That's in. I'm sure it's a 17mm. So I mean, I had the 17mm and I put it down and I lost the fucking thing. Might be a 19 that now actually. Yeah, it's a 19. Now I can't twist that pipe, but that will sit there quite happily. And this, take the screw out the end of this. It's only just on there, but again, this is only for testing. Right, I'll get the alternator back on. Right, I believe I've got everything. I'm going to just try and turn it over by hand, by the starter motor. Fuel is actually switched on. We do have fuel. Sounds like we have quite a big compression leak. But we must be getting some fuel because I can smell it. Right, I found a little bit of easy start. I could just spray it in there, but it's be easy to spray it in. Take this off. Give this a go. Right, here we go. Helps with the tip. Right, here we go. That's it, the bus reset. So those batteries are now dead. Great. Right, that's that done then. Doesn't run. Right guys, so, well that's a deflating part of the day, isn't it? We didn't even get a sound of a pop or a bang from it as he was trying to fire it into life. I now have the batteries on charge, and more and more makes me wonder, what do we do with this engine? If after all of this it's not fixed, what do we do with it? What do we do with the project? I love the hobby, I love the bus, it's a great bus, it's solid, but this engine just doesn't seem to want to work. And we'll be honest, we don't have the money to just throw at it and go, yeah, look, we'll just put another engine in it. Tow it away, put a new engine in it, bring it back. We don't have the money for that. It's not something that's really on the cards that we can do. But at this point, is that the only real option? I mean, no one wants the bus to be scrapped because of an engine. You know, it's a piece of history. I like seeing people's faces light up when they see it at the shows, and them telling us about it, they've been riding on it, and X, Y, and Z. But engine-wise, is it past it? Has everything we've just done, the head gasket for, and the new has that all been in vain? Pointless? Don't know. The chances are someone that actually knows Cummins engines and knows the way around an engine properly could probably come and sort it out and get it to run. It has compression, so there's no real reason why it shouldn't, unless it is slightly out of time, which we can advance it a tooth or decrease it a tooth. That is something we can actually do, and that's all really I can think of. Is the timing is slightly out. I've managed to get fuel up now, but obviously the batteries are dead. They are on charge and solar charge, so they are going to take a while. And I don't want to abuse the batteries to the point of where then they go dud, because then that's more cost. So at the moment they are recovering, and next week they should both be charged. Depends on the solar charger's capability to actually charge them both. That is something we will find out. For the rest of today, I could go put some water pipes on. I've got water in the car, stick water in it. But is it going to make a difference? Not really. Is it worth me trying to find all the correct flipping Jubilee clips at this point where I'm now deflated? I could go home, do some shopping, and just wonder what the hell we're going to do with this. Because this, as I say, the engine isn't bad. It made it to Llandudno. The only reason it broke down in Llandudno is because the fuel pump came loose. That's the only reason it broke down. So the engine is capable of doing it and running well. At the moment now, I have no fuel leaks. I have managed to pump and pump and pump. There's no fuel leaks. So, have we cured all the fuel leaks? If so, is the only reason it wouldn't start due to it just not having fuel yet? Because I couldn't get the engine into a position where the lift pump I could use, but I managed to do that by hand, and it's now in a position I can use it. But we also have a sound of blow-by. I just wish I'd never started. Starting to wish I'd never bought the bleeding thing. At the moment, guys, nothing seems to be going right. I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could fit a 4BT into it and change it to a mechanical pump, but it's just finding these 6BT engines is difficult. and this one just doesn't seem to want to work. People keep promising me I've got someone who can look at it, and then that line goes dead. It's just at this point now where it's like, come on, it's got to run one way or another. And then it's just so frustrated. Just the whole thing. Like I say, it's like, well, what do I do now? What is the next course of plan? Right, guys, the last little bit for today. So I've had a long conversation with Sean regarding our move forward. I have also taken the liberty of ringing Jeff Ripley first. Jeff Ripley can sort us an engine out for 1,200 quid and fit it for 1,200 quid. So $2,500 in total. So we're looking at that as a possibility. We've got 3 weeks before he can even fit us in anyway, so we've got time to think about it and assess what we're going to do. I want you to give us your views on it. We're at the point where either we try and continue to fix this engine and throw more money in it, scrap the vehicle, or we send it off to have an engine put in it that runs and works and behaves itself. So let us know your thoughts on this. It may be a bit late by the time this video goes out, but let us know, either way, your thoughts on what we should do. And other than that, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been a total shambles as usual. And thank you for staying tuned and joining and supporting us. Hopefully, one way or another, we will have a vehicle that runs and works very soon. Bye for now.
You can now find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. Hashtag MangBosses. Find us at mangbosses.com. MangBosses, we're sorting scrap.